You know what I really cannot freaking stand? And I see it more and more as like the kind of motivational sort of speech gets more traction. Like, I mean, half of my damn, For You page is just clips of David Goggins during podcasts talking about everything else, and you get the gist. But it's always, man, fuck motivation. What's motivation? That's nothing, man. That's temporary. That's not a David Goggins impression. That's just that kind of guy. Because the gist is, embrace the suck. Now that's a little more Gogginsy, right? That's what they're going for. It's, dude, yeah. Who cares if you're tired? Who cares if you're freaking, blank? If you've set a specific goal, you just got to get after it like a damn grunt. Don't speak, just follow your own kind of orders. And in that sense, there's a lot of good, I think there's some good intel in there. Because in a way, I mean, for every person individually, you're a one-man army, right? You're the captain, you're the colonel, you're the damn, what's the highest... Oh, yeah, shit, it's something... Well, either way, you're the damn highest military official and the lowest foot soldier of your own life, right? I mean, you get to do the cool, fun parts. You also got to fold your own freaking, laundry and clean up after the cats make a mess or some random whatever. Like, it's the tip of the coolness when you're doing an insane lift and then your regular just whatever back and forth, right? So the logic is, you can be extremely hyped up temporarily, right? And that's your sort of motivation that they're talking about, where it's like, nothing's stopping you, man. You're a damn icebreaker in the Arctic, plowing through 3 feet of freaking, damn near icebergs, because you got somewhere to go, and nothing's going to stop you. And then the logic is, well, that's only a temporary thought process. That's not going to be there forever. Don't just, get yourself relied on that feeling, because that feeling isn't perpetual. It's going to come and go. So that's where my argument might be a little more so to just get in tune with remembering what that feeling was like. Because over time, things will start to get a little kind of dimmer back in like your kind of memories or whatever. Like, you could be in an insanely heated fucking argument. You're as pissed as you've ever been. 3 months later, when you remember it, you're not in that same headspace. You just think, man, I was overreacting with that. But what I'm trying to get at is, like, if you've really got something you want to get after, you're watching an old school 2016 gym edit, you're looking at yourself in the mirror, you're like, fuck, I want to be like these guys. And like your concentration of like mental will to want to do that, sometimes it can be so dense, it's like you can't even imagine a world where you don't do what you're thinking about in that current moment. But then that kind of density will sort of fade, so that's where I kind of like to look back on specific moments where I really kind of imagined where I wanted to get and kind of try to feed off of that energy, because it's like, let me think. I don't know. It's almost like holding a positive grudge towards your goals that you tried to never forget about, and it's always kind of in your back pocket, or like a chip on your shoulder, pushing you towards something. Because whether or not you really feel up to it, you're kind of tired, your schedule's off, you're coming in late, you got to get up extra early, usually you're a night lifter, whatever, you've always got this little badge that's like, dude, you are going to get after it. And it's not you're going to get after it, it's you want to get after it, right? But that's on a person-by-person sort of basis. So whether or not that's like, I don't know. I mean, that's up to you. That's not me telling you what kind of thought that is. It's like you got to look back on whatever really makes you feel like you kind of want to dig deep towards whatever you're working for. I think I'm simple enough where it's like, I don't know, maybe even when I was still 160 when I started working out. It's just always been I want to get bigger and everything else that kind of comes along with it. So that's kind of the gist of it for me. But for today's lift, legs, I'm not totally sure how it's going to go. We'll see. Because I did relatively heavy quads on my last leg day, so I kind of still feel my hamstrings from that day, so I'm kind of torn. Once I get in here and start warming up, I'll be able to really decide if I want to do just mainly quads and only a little bit of hamstrings as like a warm-up, or if my quads are still a little tender and I want to give them another loop around the workout split so I can really thrash them next leg day. We'll have to see, because that's kind of what I'm aiming for as I build up momentum to like full-fledged heavy quad days. Because if I do like insane squats and super heavy leg press twice a week on the regular, it just ends up wearing me out. Like my knees will start getting a little extra tender over time. Sometimes I might start pulling a little adductor kind of hamstring sort of portion. So I still want to push it. I'm not trying to say I want to do less weight, but it's such that I want to give myself enough time to fully recover. Because if I come back for a leg day and my knees and my quads and everything else are still kind of sore, what's the logic in hurting them even more? You know, it's like you gotta let a guy get up before you go after him again. So we'll just have to see. But apart from that, afterward, I've got a bit of a chore because the mirrors are getting installed tomorrow morning. So I've got to move all the dumbbells and all the machines away from the wall so that the guys can actually come in there. So maybe I should relax on hamstrings for the leg day, because I'm about to do a bunch of freaking kind of RDLs, just moving all these damn dumbbells, and then I'm gonna have to put them all back tomorrow. Oh, shit. Yeah, well, either way, that's something to worry about after the lift. I don't want to think about it yet. So if I end up doing heavy quads, I'm getting especially excited about the pendulum and the leg press. Hack squats, I think I want to get a little, because honestly the hack squat is almost just like a regular squat replacement, you know, because it's just that linear motion, vertical, you know, you're not bent over like you are on a leg press. So we'll just have to see, because I think my leg days will probably look like a rotation of, well, leg extensions first typically, and then either barbell Smith machine or hack squats, maybe only a set or two extra heavy on those, and then moving on to the more isolated pressing, like the leg press and the pendulum squat. And I would kind of, yeah, I mean, the pendulum squat is pretty isolated, man. It's nice. And yeah, this one's extra cool because now they've added an actual safety to the bottom. It's funny, there's an old video of me at one of my buddy's gyms kind of further up in Ohio. I think it's the Canton Powerhouse, and I get stuck on the pendulum, and there's no safety, so I either had to get smushed or, you know, have the guys over there help me re-rack it. But since all these machines, like the heavy pressing ones, have safeties, I never have to worry about actually getting squished. Because if I fail a rep, all I have to do is rest it at the bottom, get up, take a couple of plates off, and usually you can just get back in the machine and press it to the top and then add the weights back, you know. No need to completely unrack everything. But now I'm just kind of rambling. So let's get excited to move some shit around, and this will be the first damn quad or hamstring pump to be determined in here. But the leg section is not yet done. There's a few more pieces coming. Mainly my favorite leg press. It's the Rogers hip press, or really any hip press. Now I'm already talking about it, so let's just finish it off. But it's different from a conventional sled, because instead of just sliding the weight up and down on a rail where the force that you feel is completely even the entire time, with the pendulum, the pendulum hip press. I don't know, well, either way, instead of just sliding up and down, it sort of rotates. So it gets heavier at the top and a little lighter at the bottom. So where you've got the most pressure on your knees, it actually eases up a little. And the strength curve is just a little more conducive with like kind of higher rep sets. Just another sweet variation to throw in. Like if you ever have a gym that has that, I think the closest hip press to where I'm at is about 45 minutes away at American Barbell. And for a while on that last bulking phase, almost every leg day, I would do that drive just to get on that hip press. So that's probably one of the, that's definitely gonna be one of my favorite pieces in here. Out of all of them, I bet that one's gonna get the most actual like wear and tear, but we'll just have to see. That'll be sometime later this month, I think. So no more talking, let's get started. I am sufficiently warm because I've had to bring all these plates over here. So we kind of evenly distributed them all on all the machines, but I don't need a bunch of plates on the hack if it's right next to the leg press. You can kind of share some of the plates. So my lower back's officially warm, and hamstrings are a little tender. So really all I've been doing for the past couple of minutes was going back and forth in kind of a trifecta of warming up my hamstrings on the laying curl, doing some leg extension sets, not failure, just activation, like good squeeze, enough where they're getting pumped, and then gradually increasing weight on the leg press. Because I think one of the weaknesses of my quad training is an over-reliance on the leg extension. And it's for good reason. The leg extension feels good. I can really get a good squeeze. It's kind of a just sweet pump. And frankly, I think I'm also motivated to do more leg extension. It's kind of easier. It's not as freaky as leg press. So this last bulking phase, I tried to prioritize more pressing in my quad work, which I think definitely had some benefits, more so than my regular kind of quad growth trajectory. So following suit, I want this off season to be like 75% pressing, 25% extensions, you know. Like at the end of this lift, if I just do some pump out work with the leg extension, that'll be solid. But first, I want to get some, get the brunt of it done here. So I'm just about ready. 10 seems about right. And I'm not sure what the angle is on like a hammer strength leg press. I think it's a little steeper. So with this one, I won't feel so much like, well, I guess in a way you don't feel the plates as much, because I think this is about 30 degrees. So if it's 30 degrees, what's sine of 30? Is it 1/2? Pretty sure. So that would mean I'm feeling 5 plates worth of force downward. You know, at least a little bit of your trigonometry, if you're into that stuff right now, it does apply. But either way, this will be a good starting weight. So I'm going to do a little bit more hamstring and quad, one more little round, and then let's start here. Because frankly, I'm not going into this with any specific number. It's more so just as many sets as I can really muster. And once I'm kind of wrecked, I think I want to get some pendulums going too. These are going to be the kind of the kingpins in this quad portion. More heavy, brutish, a little bit lighter with a deeper stretch over there. Because even on a regular squat, for me, you know, I get to like, 90, whatever, and that's it. But, and then on the leg press, same thing. Actually, I'm only getting to like 90 degrees of bend-ish, right? It's heavier. But on the actual pendulum squat, like I'm getting deep, like as bent as my legs can even get at the bottom. So it's almost like this is the heavy tension, mechanical work side. And that's going to be more so full range of motion, deep stretch in the bottom. And not to make this a whole talk, but I feel like the leg press for me, now that I can actually like fire my quads more directly, because I used to get almost only glutes, and I would never do leg press because I don't need a bigger butt. I want my quads to grow. But now when I do leg press, I feel a lot of upper quad up here kind of start the action. Whereas with something deeper, with a big stretch like the pendulum, I'm feeling a lot more kind of teardrop, lower quad at the bottom. You gotta look up Clarence Kennedy. His quads are nuts in such that they're so beefy at the bottom, probably because the guy's doing like 555-pound squats, as deep as you could even possibly get, and then coming back up. So that's a good example of some validity of the range of motion argument. of getting a real deep ass stretch. But let's cut to set number 1. And then ideally, I want to be drenched at the end of this lift. So we'll see if I can make that shit happen. Oh my gosh. Nice. Let's run that up. Yeah, this is good. Oh, it's crazy to think back at how different leg press feels for me now versus when I was like a 1-year lifter. I wish I got a video. The set probably looked like total shit. I was like maybe 170. I put 13 plates on a leg press and I was moving it. Yeah, I think moving it was all I accomplished back then. But that's one good one down. All right, let's keep going. This is freaking perfect. All right. A few more. Oh. 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 Oh, let's keep going. Whew. Oh. Ah. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Ah. Probably 2 more, I think. Oh. But we'll see. Get over, come on. Oh. My parents are helping me move all the dumbbells and stuff. So they brought the dog. Oh, he's a good dog. Oh, he's a good fella. Go get him, go. All right, let's hit this shit. Probably, I don't know how many more. We'll see. Because I don't want to underdo it, you know? Because frankly, if I've been missing out on pressing, at least for my quads for a while, now it's like I want to go extra far and do almost too much. Because if you don't overdo it, you never know where that bar is, you know? So it's not like I want to overdo it every lift, but I want to find the sweet spot. All right. Okay. Yeah, 1 more. And then let's do some pendulum squats. Oh. 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 Little bushka. Come here. All right. Sit. So I'm going to do 10. And then can you help me with like some assisted ones? Like, come over here, come. So you hold on to this thing. Hey, come on, focus. Like, so when it starts to get heavy, just give it a push. Yeah, I'll call you back. I'll call you back in a minute. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. No. Holy crap. Let's move on. Geez, now I gotta unrack this stuff. Yeah, I think that's enough heavy work. So now, here it is. Now let's do a little superset. Leg extension pre-exhaust. And I'm not even gonna go to failure here. It's like just to uncomfort burning this so that they're just pre-fatigued for the pendulum. And I only need 3 plates. I mean, the pendulum squat is pretty freaking heavy already. But, I mean, especially after doing all that leg press, no need for anything wild. So, let's make this shit happen. Not too many more sets left, I believe, but we'll see. Oh. Come on. All right. There we go. Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. Holy crap. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Oh, jeez. A little heavier. Okay. Holy shit. Oh my gosh. Yeah, see, that's nice. End of a set is much more gentle. Oh. Let's get out of here. One benefit of the Sam gym, no dress code. So I don't have to worry about dropping the pants and having, you know, a school teacher behind me doing 10-pound dumbbell curls in the same shot. You know, if you're ever gonna drop trowel, I mean, obviously, you know, still got like briefs on or whatever, but use your best judgment. Oh, maybe don't do it in the middle of a Planet Fitness. That's the only tip I could tell you there. But yeah, in terms of overall kind of fullness today, we are definitely working with something. Like even just standing, not flexing at all, like these feel freaking dense. And those leg extensions into the arsenal, or the pendulum squat, yeah, I'm feeling a lot of teardrop. Whereas with the leg press, you know, it was a bit more kind of upper outer quad focus. Sometimes I think guys overdo it when they're talking about like biasing different portions of a muscle. Like, oh, leg press works the sweep and leg extensions work the teardrop or the medial quad or whatever. But there definitely is some validity to that, right? Like in a chest day, I want to do incline, mid, and some decline work. So with quads, I mean, I'm definitely feeling it, which is just giving me the actual kind of confirmation that it's legit. Leg pressing, deep squatting, combined with leg extensions, I think those are the big three when it comes to quad activation and ideally destruction, which I think I achieved today. So I can almost guarantee that my legs are going to be thrashed, honestly, for probably the next 4 days after that, which is what I want. Like there's a stupid logic. Like it makes a little bit of sense, but it's flawed at its core. Where the idea is, okay, I want to improve my recovery. I want to make sure that I recover as well as possible, which that's awesome. That's what we all want to do between lifts so that we can continue to progress. But where the sort of shift in the mindset happens that turns that from good to trash is where you think, okay, I better take the training easier. Like you're improving your recovery because you're not so sore because you didn't stimulate any actual kind of growth or actual hypertrophy or anything. And yeah, I mean, sure, you're waking up, you don't feel sore at all. But that's not the point. The point of working out isn't so that you don't feel sore at home. It's so that you're giving yourself a chore to recover from later. The whole point of the meals and the sleep and the hydration, everything that's happening outside of the gym, that's sort of the yang to the yin that is a bunch of crazy ass leg press, leg extensions, and pendulum squats. So the idea of taking the training easier to improve your recovery, you're missing the point. It's like you want your training to be as nuts as feasible, and you want to bring and match your recovery to that level. Now, of course, there are guys who overdo it. I've seen kids where they're telling me they're doing like 30 sets in a workout, which I fell for that too. I mean, you think more is better. It's hard to reduce your volume like that. But, there's maybe 1% of lifters overdoing it in the gym. Don't act like overtraining is just so easy to do. Like, you'll know if you push yourself too hard, at least if you got that freaking dog in you. But for me, for you, let's get in the car. For me, we got some freaking weights to move around. So this place should look way freakier tomorrow, which I'm excited for. More lighting, more pose down spots, the better. But let's roll. Oh, freaking yeah. That is what I'm talking about. A lot of pressing. I need more pressing in these dang quads. So I should really so I do have a measuring tape now. I forgot that I had it for arms yesterday. But yeah, I gotta get some measurements. So I think, I don't know, I'll see. Maybe tomorrow I'll do a cold arm measurement in the morning and a cold mid-leg, just standing, no flexing measurement in the morning too, as a bit of a baseline to see how I'll progress. But yeah, I mean, speaking of being on track to, what's the word? Yeah, speaking of being on track to a damn PR of kind of accrued muscle, I'm already I was 261 this morning, empty stomach. Yeah, I feel like I've rebounded quite nicely. And so far, I mean, I've only just been kind of scrapping around meal-wise, which is kind of the point. The first month or so of an off-season, or like a bulking phase, coming off of a diet. And honestly, I could have done it even slower than this and like really eased into it. But I'm not so attached to being lean all the time that I didn't want to kind of jumpstart some sort of size accrual. Because when it comes to actually having a good off season, I mean, I think you definitely have the advantage if you're not afraid of losing your abs a little bit. There is a point of over bulking where you pack on just too much body fat. You're just legitimately overdoing it, right? And it can be a huge ass chore to get that body fat off. But there is a range where putting on an extra, maybe 10 pounds, well, it depends on how big you are, but like if you're really ready to do a legit bulk, you've made gains for a while, you track your calories, you know what you're doing, if you get a little extra soft, you lose some of your veins, and you do gain substantial muscle mass in the process, that's the whole point. That's what we're aiming for. So there's a lot of guys where they're in a state of limbo, which it really is the worst state to be in. lifting wise, because they're completely torn. And rather than, make a decision to try to, get lean for summer or bulk up for winter, or either which way, they pick a third option: do nothing. And it's not like an active choice. It's more so that when they look at a bulk or a cut, they only see the negatives, which, terrible mindset, right? Now, I'm not saying it's like anybody's fault, because the logic of it makes sense. Dude, come on! I don't want to bulk. I don't want to get soft. I don't want to lose my jawline. Me fully dieted versus bulked up and eating a ton of food. Dude, my facial features look way freaking different. Because half of it is just when you eat a ton of food, like calories in excess. At least for me, I just end up being a little more, like, generally inflamed. Like, not in like a super kind of terrible way, but it's just kind of, when you get that much food and water in your system at all times, you're just a little puffier, man. Right? That's the cost. And the reward, you get bigger. Your lifts are crazier, you move bigger numbers, you legitimately just gain muscle size and some strength, which is a damn cool part as well. And that's, you're kind of making an investment in a way, because for some guys, that's not a massive reward. For anyone who's really motivated purely by that end result of, okay, I need to be big and lean, you forget that middle part, right? Because first you got to be a little bit bigger and soft before you get big and lean. There's definitely a limit to the time frame that you should be maintaining, when I think afterward, actually getting into some calorie leveraging is going to just not only make more sense, but kind of be your best option to continue and break through any plateaus that you might be in. But yeah, it's the guys who are just, they're not willing to feel a little soft for a while. And then, honestly, even worse, the guys who just kind of stay in the middle, where they've maintained for maybe 2 years. Now their progress has slowed, and they don't want to diet down either, because they just, you might have just hit like 275 on bench or 315 on bench if you're a damn dog, or whatever, and it's like, oh well, if I diet down, I'm going to lose strength. I don't want to be weaker in the gym. Which, same thing, man. You just got to look at it objectively. Like, if you can actually just look at the, maybe usually negative aspects and positive aspects to the working out or the dieting phase, in the long run, in the grand scheme of things, it gets a little more palatable. I don't mind that I can't leg press 10 freaking plates or squat 5 plates when I'm dieting, because that's just the cost. Being a little weaker, just maintaining my size, giving all my joints a break, honestly, which is frankly pretty nice every couple of months from all the heavy stuff. And the benefit, you look freaking freaky. Those last few lifts at Dragon's Lair in that peak week for the Legends Classic show, when I go back and look at those, honestly, I think that was probably close to my best in the gym kind of look. Still pretty full. I really had to flatten down to get to that 217 weight limit, which I'm excited for the next show, because I won't have to suck down so much. I'll be able to be a little bit kind of fuller and bigger. But just the actual in the gym, lean, walking around look with a pump, with some carbs, I think those were probably my nuttiest freaking pumps. Like, just front double bicep shot was wild, back lat spread. It's just freaking sweet. And I do not look like that right now. After only like a month and a half of eating extra food, my like side tricep shot, nowhere near as freaky, way softer, no more kind of like real freaky over the shoulder veins. And for some guys, it's pretty easy to get insanely attached to that look. Like, if you diet down, you're seeing more abs than you've ever seen. You're seeing more veins and like striations. So, oh crap, this is it. I need to stay like this forever. And maybe you want to see your physique progress size-wise, which to an extent I think everyone, no matter what realm of training you're in, kind of does, right? Even power lifters, dude, oh man, they don't just say they want to, well, I guess it depends on the guy, I'm not totally sure, but usually it's as you get stronger, you're going up in weight classes, because apart from just the actual like neurological strength adaptations that you get from strength training, like one guy can be the same weight as another guy. I mean, there's people way lighter than me who can outbench me like night and day. But you can't forget the fact that mass moves mass. Physically having more muscle on your frame will make you stronger. So whether your goal is just muscle for its own sake or the strength effects that it's going to give you, you know, staying diced and lean and in a, at least not a deficit, but like low maintenance calories, it's just not going to do it for you. You know, there was it was about 2 years ago where lean is people weren't saying lean is law back then, but it was real kind of, I mean, honestly, it was just real kind of trendy, at least with younger guys, TikTok style, to just get diced instantly, like straight up starvation mode, you know, become a lean ass 150. And I was really trying to fight against it in the sense that I was just talking like, dude, what's the point of polishing up a car if you haven't fixed up the inside yet? You know, like, especially as a beginner lifter, unless you're going down a serious fat loss progression journey, which is very different. But starting off as just kind of like a regular guy, you know, maybe 160, 170, not like super built, not super lean either, to instantly start working out in a crazy deficit and trying to peel down, I mean, in a way, I think you might be wasting some of your potential newbie gains, because as a beginner, that's when you're most prone to muscle growth, because the stimulus is the wildest. You've never had it before. So that's where, at least as a beginner, dude, I mean, it's like bulk up, build that framework first, and then leveraging, you know, getting rid of some fat to actually see just some cuts and everything else will make a little bit more sense, you know. So people got over that pretty quick. I think now everybody's got the gist of, like, you know, why diet if you're not at least relatively kind of built up. But of course, if you're in like a big fat loss kind of progression, that's a different story. You know, it's that's something where you probably will want to start working on that first. But I mean, in the process, either way, it's not like you're screwed. You know, if you start working out and dieting down at the same time, you will still progress, obviously. But if you're a lean-ish character, there's no need to be diced off the rip. You know, spend some time building up first. And then when you do a real diet and you lock into a deficit, you're doing a ton of cardio, you'll really have something to see. And it's just a better situation. So that's kind of my opinion on the beginner with the dieting. But for the intermediate lifter, dude, just don't get so attached, man. You know, the first time I did a real bulk, I didn't have like a pump check at the end of the lifts for about 6 months, because I wanted to see a massive difference at the end. Kind of, you know, it's like if you watch a tree grow, if you're watching paint dry, nothing really happens. But if you kind of keep it hidden away for a while, and then you look, you're like, holy crap, what the fuck happened? I'm 20 pounds heavier. This is nuts. You know, so I don't really want to do that now. I kind of like seeing the kind of gradual progressions. But it's, yeah, I mean, you know, who really cares? I think looks maxing might be a bit of a deterrent towards muscular progression, because, you know, what's the main thing everybody wants in terms of just their like overall look, right? You know, that lean kind of face. You want to be able to see jawline, everything else. You don't want to be puffy or anything. So going down a big bulk, dude, what are you talking about, man? I want to stay skinny, or not skinny, but like stay lean and toned. Yeah, these guys are bringing toned back. I haven't heard somebody say toned, unironically, for freaking years. But it's like, dude, don't stress, especially wintertime. I mean, I think a lot of guys want to leverage like the season for whatever their diet is. But even in doing so, it's like the timing doesn't really make sense. It's like, why? I mean, I get a ton of flack when I'm dieting down during the winter, or like, you know, going into fall. Like, Sam, why would you ever want to diet during Thanksgiving, during Christmas? You know, how would you deprive yourself like that? And it's, you know, I think it's just these constructs that people have in their mind where it's like, you can eat in a different way than everybody else during different times of the year. You know, it's nobody else's business. And if you really care what anybody else thinks, then maybe your first thing you should work on is trying to, you know, get out of that sort of habit. But somebody smacked a skunk somewhere. But yeah, I mean, you know, if you want to see yourself bigger and leaner, that's not a direct path. If you're main gaining and you're actually making progress, then it is. Right? Hip hip hooray, damn straight, keep going. But to a point, I do think there's a limit to main gaining progress where actually doing a bulk will make a bit more sense. And then instead of, 10 pounds leaner, 10 pounds bigger at the same level of leanness, like a direct one-to-one path, it's a little more wobbly. And big bulk, put some fat on, diet down, maybe get back to a baseline where you're just back in maintenance, and then you're bigger and leaner. And honestly, it's just kind of a more fun sort of journey. The lifts are more fun because you get to see yourself big and strong and cool and freaking diced. When Frodo and Sam went to Mordor, they didn't get on, I-60 and beeline it, right? They had a whole kind of journey to get there. And I think that's just a little bit better, at least kind of experientially, as a lifter, right? Because you get a good grasp on what calories even do. When guys talk to me about how they made a massive fat loss transformation, I'm more impressed by that than somebody who started working out for a year and a half and gained some muscle. Not saying I'm not writing that off, but I'm just saying it's going to take more, like a constant dedication and frankly just more effort to get all that body fat off while training at the same time, because you can't really slack. On average, if somebody lost 100 pounds in a year, they were on their shit that whole year, and that's what let them actually make that insane kind of change. So anybody that doesn't really commit to a legit bulk or legit diet, I think they might be missing out on a pretty damn key component of what working out's all about anyway, because it's just exerting control over your damn build. That's all it is. Like, I want to get bigger, I want to get stronger. I'm making that happen with everything that I'm doing outside of the gym and in it. So obviously, if I can really leverage calories and rest and hydration and everything else, then it's going to let me do it. Whereas somebody who plateaus, typically the excuse is not, I need to track my calories more, I need to do more cardio, I think I need to be a little bit more consistent and intense with my training. No, it's always, I'm at my genetic limit. Come on, how can you expect to go to the gym that much? I'm getting burnt out. Right? Just any kind of random whatever. Right? It's very easy to deflect anything. And I'm not saying I don't do it either. It's very easy to blame something else. But it's a much better kind of growth progress mindset to say, shit, I got to change something. And if you can do that, more power to you. And not for me, just like for you specifically. So that's my little bit of my tidbit there. So if you know anybody who's, hey man, I'm bulking, I'm eating 6,000 calories a day, but I can't get past 180 pounds. It just doesn't. I got a fast metabolism. Try to wake that guy up. Right? Try to give him a shake, splash some water on his face, because he's dreaming, and he is in a deep sleep dreaming. If that's what he's sticking with. So just look into it. As much as I talk about the calories in, calories out, macro tracking, I'm not saying it arbitrarily. I do think that that's a pretty damn powerful game changer if you can start to get a good grasp on it. Like, we all hear the phrases like carved up, full, or depleted, but if you're just saying that and you don't really get the gist of what it actually kind of feels like from making your diet kind of wrap around your training, you'll see. So that's my finisher there. Start tracking your shit. I promise it'll help. So I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna sleep like a freaking baby, and I've got chest tomorrow. But frankly, I might even need a rest day after that. We'll have to see. But as long as I feel pretty fresh, even if my quads are wrecked, if my chest is, strong, I see no reason why hitting the lift would be a bad thing. But that's all I got. So I'll see you tomorrow for some chest.